You can avoid.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we're reviewing a movie from the Wheel of Destiny. My pick, which is a donated pick from Bruce Purkey, The Abominable Dr. Phibes. I hope we don't get kicked off of YouTube for this.
Don't ban us,
What lovely music for a murder, or two, or three, or nine. Who's this? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a dear friend. Nine
Dead
killed you. Nine shall die. Your wife, no, Phibes. But you I will kill. But you can't, Doctor. I am already dead.
Here, how are we going to get him off this?
I really like that
You
one.
take his head, and I'll take his feet. Let's unscrew him.
Dr. Phibes, who samples the finer things of life
Oh, he does. He does.
You know what I'm
in
saying?
his
That
own
Kuntazi.
inimitable way
Underage
and
women.
experiments with fascinating instruments of
Oh, he
death.
does.
The what, sir? The guitar. The 10 curses visited upon the pharaohs before Exodus.
Nine
He was giving away
shall
the movie.
Die. 9 eternities in doom.
The curse of boils, of bats.
Frogs?
Of frogs, yes. And the curse of blood.
Yeah, frogs too. Yes, that too. Yeah, that too. Also
Frogs?
Curse of hail in the bloody middle of nowhere.
They just have random telescopes like in the field.
Nah, he brought that.
He brought
Yeah,
that?
he brought it in the back of his K5 laser.
Something from his
You
personal collection.
ready for Dr. Phibes?
I think so. All right, that's good.
All right, that is
Abominable Dr. Phibes. That is...
Abominable Dr. Phibes.
That's a hard
Yeah.
word.
Abominable. It's hard word to spell.
Abominable Dr. Phibes.
I always want to.
No, there's no D.
Yeah, no, it's a... Oh, abominable.
Yeah.
Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Abominable.
It's one of those-
Abominable.
It's one of those words, if you say it fast, it's easy. But when you
Abominable.
start breaking it down, you're like, wait, how do I spell this word?
Abominable.
Abominable.
Yeah.
So The Abominable Dr. Phibes, this is a movie, I call it a donated pick because it's my pick from the Wheel of Destiny, but I only know about this from our old pal Bruce, and he's like an honorary classmate.
Yes.
And he's brought us a number of movies to watch, a number of insights over the years. I think the last one I did was Paprika from Satoshi Kon.
Oh, that's
was like
right.
a
yes.
donated
I think,
pick.
I think that was it.
Paprika.
Yeah, paprika. And we got to learn how to make a delicious dish on that episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we got Bruce Purkey on the back line right now. What's up, Bruce? How you doing, buddy?
I am doing very well. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, hold on, sorry. Hold on, Juice.
Hold on.
Joseph botched it.
It's a botch job.
There we go.
There we go.
We're gonna watch the trailer again.
Okay.
Am I here? Am I here?
You're
What's going on?
here.
You're there.
We're there. We were playing the trailer one more time on accident.
Yeah.
We wanted to get kicked off YouTube twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check on that real quick. Just make sure. Okay,
It's live.
We're good.
I'm watching.
We're good.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Just got done watching a live stream of some podcast I've heard of called Middle Class Film Class. Look at that.
Wow.
Cool.
Like, here you are. It's like watching a TV show and then all of a sudden you're in it. I don't understand how this works, but
I was going to say, what a
It's like
coincidence.
Truman
because
Show.
That's a very Willy Wonka situation with Mike TV.
that's right.
Thanks for being on the show, man. Thanks for supporting us, listening on the regular. You're a true pal. And I've learned about more fantastic movies from you. Of course, your ilk as well, Eric and Greg from Cinematics. But I think that you and I line very closely on a lot of the stuff that we enjoy. And I found a lot of really great stuff from you personally. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes.
I
Very
try, but maybe today is the day that breaks it.
They can't all be winners.
You're like, never going to listen to him again.
yeah.
that's it.
Well, Abominable Dr. Phibes, I've literally only ever heard any person talk about it. Just you. You're the only person.
What are you talking about? I talked about it last week.
Yeah, after I brought it up because of Bruce.
Before it was on the wheel.
Yeah, you never mentioned a word about it until it came on the wheel. So
Okay, fair enough.
Tell us a little bit about this, your personal relationship with this movie.
Well, first of all, probably don't hear much about it because I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I don't think at all.
You can watch it on YouTube.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch on YouTube, but I mean, I don't think officially streaming anywhere. But so it doesn't really get that, like bump from anything unless you just happen to go looking for it. Yeah, my history, I saw this way back. I mean, way back when I was in like high school. I had like a little black and white TV in my bedroom so I could watch like the midnight, movies. They'd come on and various old B movies and stuff. And this is one I had kind of vaguely heard about because it was Vincent Price movie, of course.
Yeah.
And he had a ton of famous movies, but this one just looked really weird. And lo and behold, it was really weird. And I think it's one of those movies that, I watched a long time ago and liked it. And then I watched it again recently, I think in the last 5 years. And I thought, wow, this movie is actually pretty cool and very odd for its time period. I think it's 71.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
71.
Yeah.
And just the way it looks and the way it is presented, it doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't feel like an old movie. I mean, it definitely does. But it doesn't feel like what you think of as a 1971 movie or a 1971 horror movie even.
Right.
I mean, it's just weird period piece. It's like a comedy horror.
Yeah.
And the one thing I kind of really like about it too, seeing it the last time, is which never struck me before, is this is like a proto Saw movie.
Yeah.
You would never
That's exactly what I thought.
That shocked me. There's a lot of movies that I feel like pulled inspiration from this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Saw. I don't know if Phantom of the Paradise was before or after this, but I feel
was after.
I think I'd say it's a few years after.
No.
And what was the other one that I thought of? But Saw for sure owes a huge debt to Phibes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would be amazed if one of them hadn't seen this. What do you think of, else?
Poor Things. The Willem Dafoe's character with his being able to drink through his neck, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something people of a certain age have probably, and they're into like horror movies or weird genre movies, have probably come across this movie. But once again, it's kind of lost to time.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone under 50 probably has heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Tyler, how did you hear about this movie? How come you're under 50?
Well,
Yeah.
I
Seemingly.
well, yeah.
It's lungs of an 80-year-old.
Yeah, I do have the lungs of an 80-year-old. No, I mean, I'll get into it a little bit more on my Letterboxd review.
Okay.
But just the short-term summary of it is that I watched it off of those gas station 50 movies on a DVD.
Oh, okay.
set.
Oh.
And that's how I discovered it, and I was shocked how much I liked it.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of crappy movies, but that one stood out to me. I wish I could know the title of that compilation, but
I have one of those collections. It's like 60 sci-fi classics. That,
yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. The best one on there is Laser Mission
The fuck?
with
Mission.
Brandon Lee.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
that's a Brandon Lee flick. Okay.
Actually, Adam Murphy, he gave me a VHS copy of it.
Laser
Of
Mission?
Laser Mission. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Nice. Anything else you wanted to say, Bruce, about Abominable Phibes?
Yeah, just a couple things. I'll just mention because you guys are going to obviously talk about it, so I don't want to like cut into all those things, but I just want to put a highlight on the character of Volnavia, his assistant. I think she's one of the best femme fatale / evil
assistants.
Characters assistants.
Yeah.
Virginia North, I think is her name. She's quite fantastic. And the production design of this movie.
Yeah.
This kind of crazy Art Deco glam, whatever it is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it also helps make it stand out. Other than that, I don't have too much else to say other than there was a sequel. It's not quite as good. Dr. Phibes Rises Again, I believe.
Yes.
And then if you like this movie and you like Vincent Price in this kind of movie, the only other movie I would suggest you might look into is called Theater of Blood. And in Theater of Blood, he's like a failed Shakespearean actor, and he's getting revenge. So it is made after this. So you could tell they were like trying to pattern it off this kind of revenge thing.
Got it.
And instead, he does revenge on all these different people. It's a different director too. He does revenge on all these people based on different Shakespearean plays.
Oh, that's fun.
Interesting.
So each revenge murder is done based on a death in a different Shakespearean play.
I see.
That sounds fun.
Not as stylish and not as good, but still pretty good because Vincent Price is always entertaining. Right. But that's it. Yeah, that's my selling point.
Gravy. I love it. Well, I can't wait to talk about it. And for people who don't know cinematics or don't listen to cinematics, it's another movie kind of review podcast. But you guys do all the new up and coming stuff that's off the beaten path. And if you're a movie aficionado, if you're a lover of film and you're listening to our show, and you want to hear about all the new stuff that's coming out that you're not going to see a trailer for or a commercial for or a billboard for, go listen to Cinematics. They're doing the Lord's work over there.
And also check out their Facebook page. It's been kind of active recently, like really active.
Yeah. There's two things on Facebook.
It's a tight-knit.
There's the Facebook page, and then there's the group, and the group is just Cinematics
is it the
group.
group? Oh, it's
and the
the
group
group.
is where everybody can interact. We need to make a group instead of just only we can post.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna check that out.
But yeah, the Cinematics Facebook group is like, I'm there. All these guys are there. Everybody on the Cinematics page is there.
Yeah.
All the regulars, Joe Bridges.
It's a fun time.
And even Kleberg pimps it out on Force 5 as well, because it is one of the better places to chat about movies with good people, good movie people.
I always forget how many members are a part of it because I see the same names posting
Ken Cunningham and
consistently,
Javier.
there's like almost 700 people in the group. So it's, you wouldn't know unless you look at it.
A lot of lurkers and then us.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of the few oases of positivity on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So go hide there and stay away from all the rest of the crap on there.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Hey, thanks again for the recommendation. We'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Hope you guys liked it. Okay, at least.
I'll tip my hand. I did like it. So
good. Cool.
See you later, buddy.
All right, later.
Bye.
Later.
All right. What a delight.
Very much so.
I love it when we can have friends on the show. It's
I do
fun.
too. Yeah.
Remember the first time we had a guest on the show was Brianna's grandma, Connie?
Yeah.
And we had to like
on the phone.
hold the mic on my phone up to the mic.
That's right.
And then you like recorded it with an app on the phone somehow.
Yeah, it was pretty clunky.
Yeah, it was messy.
This is pre-production quality, pre-board.
Pre-board.
Yeah.
That's good times.
Yeah, good times.
Hey, Joseph, can I see that full image of the thing? I just want to see if the health of the stream looks good.
Oh, here?
Yeah, and just make that a little wider. Yeah. We're worried about copyright strike.
Excellent connection.
If you didn't listen to the Gab and Chatter, we got kicked off of YouTube on that one, and it'll give us a big yellow stripe across saying, you have a copyright concern, or you have a stream issue, or whatever. So, cool, good. We're healthy. Okay, so let's get into the movie, Abominable Dr. Phibes from 1971. This is directed by Robert Fuest. I think that's how I'm saying it, right? Fuest. Whose major contributions are, he was a director of 7 episodes of the Avengers TV series from the 1960s, late 1960s. Mm-hmm. He directed The Abominable Dr. Phibes, and Bruce said it was a different director, but he did direct the Dr. Phibes Rises Again.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and then another movie called The Final Program, spelled wrong, the British way, with an E at the end.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I know. So, and this movie's set in London, The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Yes.
Is starring the incomparable Vincent Price as Dr. Anton Phibes, Joseph Cotton as Dr. Vesalius, Virginia North as Vulvania, a lot of V's in this, Terry Thomas.
Vivacious.
Yeah. Terry Thomas as Dr. Longstreet, Sean Burry as Lem Vesalius, Susan Travers as Nurse Allen, and a bunch of people who I just do not recognize. So this is rated PG-13. It's got a 7.0 out of 10 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
And this is written by James Whitten and William Goldstein. And I don't know how I would necessarily categorize this. It's kind of a horror, but it's not too horrifying.
It like borders on the line of horror and comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, yeah, horror is kind of a reach, though, I feel like.
It's almost like a slasher in the sense because he's going after people.
Yeah. It's hard to pigeonhole this movie into like either category.
It would be a mystery, but we know who's doing it, so it's
It's true. That's a good point. But it's like it is a comedy technically in the technical sense, but most of the movie is not played for laughs.
No.
There's just a few characters that when they're on screen, namely the detectives, are just like, now they're bantering, and now he's like they're saying goofy things while someone's dead in the room. It's funny.
I mean, it's comedic.
Well, it's very dry.
Yeah, it is British after all.
British.
So that's the long and short of it. The doctor, scientist, and organist and biblical scholar Anton Phibes seeks revenge on the 9 doctors he considered responsible for the death of his wife.
Right.
There we go. Little bit of Saw with the way that the methodology of murder. A little bit of Seven with the biblical reference and the way he's killing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I like about the movie. It's
a little
simple.
bit of,
like the plot is simple.
Yeah, a little bit of
he's just killing people because he thinks that they killed his wife.
Yeah, which they, in the strictly technical sense, did. So, so
whether intentional or not.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it was all of our not all of our first watches. Tyler, you've seen this before?
I have.
Why don't you give us your initial thoughts on a second watch?
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with my Letterboxd review.
Hold on.
Oh, hello. Come along, won't you? As Tyler reads his own Letterboxd reviews. This is me, myself, and Tyler.
God damn.
Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that, buddy. So go ahead and lead your own Letterboxd reviews.
Yes, thank you. So I gave this a 4-star and a like. So I go off by saying I was first introduced to this movie on a very vibrant New Year's party that was held in my bedroom with my friends and my then girlfriend. My girlfriend had brought a DVD set that 50-something movies on it, like the ones you would see at highway gas stations. I had only seen it once prior to the second viewing, and I was blown away by how incredibly well-crafted this film was. Vincent Price is iconic. However, his acting in this film is great, and he really steals the show. The side character that is his assistant or lover, perhaps both, really nailed the role. She was supposed to play, and the detectives provided comedic relief. The beginning of the movie was such a mood, and for 1 second was jealous of Phibes. But as the movie progresses, you start to get the horror aspect, because on one hand, you want to sympathize with him, but on the other hand, those 9 medical professionals did their best to save the wife. So it's like, move on, man.
Okay.
All in all, this is a high recommend, and you can go on YouTube and stream it for free. I grade this a B+.
All right. Okay. Very good. There we are.
B+.
All right. Okay. Show is over.
There you go. That's it.
And that's it.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, so like upon a second viewing from decades ago, it holds up like a lot.
When did you watch this?
What year was it?
Like, no, this viewing.
Okay. Oh, for this viewing, I think it was like 8:00 in the morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I mean, like this is a movie I feel like you could watch really like anytime. It's an easy watch. You don't have to pay attention too much, as long as you know like what the plot is and like what the motivation of Dr. Phibes is. Then you can. I'm not saying don't pay attention to it.
Okay.
Like this isn't like a movie like where you can just like scroll on your phone and just like look up. No. But at the same time, like if you get distracted by something, then you can still pick it up. And so
he still has the same motivation.
A glowing review. You could just not pay attention.
Well,
you could sort of pay attention and you still get it.
I did give a glowing review. How dare you? No, that's fine. It was it's a like Bruce said at the top of the show. It's hard to
I don't recall Bruce saying that.
Categorize it as a horror movie, or I think we were talking about that. I don't know.
Like a few minutes ago,
somebody was talking.
Somebody mentioned something about
somehow.
He's reaching the end of his short-term memory. It's about to reset.
Anyways, yes, upon a second viewing from an objective point of view, that yes, I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Okay, great, awesome. Joseph, first watch. What's your reaction?
So I've never even heard of this movie before it was put on the wheel.
How?
It's like Bruce said. It's like forgotten.
It's an oddity.
Nobody knows. Like if you weren't born around that time or around during that time, and if you didn't have anybody who is a fan of the type of movie, then you would probably have really, like, if you had no one in your life that was like of that crowd or of that type of person who's into like kind of B horror movies from years ago.
Also British.
Yeah, also British.
How Tyler, he didn't have access to the 60 Monster Classics.
I didn't go to the same gas station.
He didn't hit up that BP on the way to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
That's right.
BP. Oh my god.
British Petroleum. It's a British movie.
I guess that's true. So we all watched it on YouTube because that was the only other.
Yeah.
Wait,
Right.
so did you guys watch the movie with? Was it like a show?
Oh, like I saw that and I went to another one. There's two.
There's two of them.
Yeah, there's a movie only, and then there's a.
It's a show. It's like a.
The Last Drive-In style movie where they comment at the
like
beginning.
an Elvira.
Yeah, they intro the movie and then they stops at some point and they comment.
Interstitials.
Oh, no, I just watched it as a movie, but
Me too.
I would have loved to watch.
So
it
I
like
watched that version.
Oh, really?
It's like a YouTube channel where
an extra 30 minutes
where
on
they
it.
screen just like random movies like this.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like characters, there's like guys like a former rock star. I didn't really watch that part. Anytime it would come up to the interstitial, I would just skip through it. So that's how I watched
get it over
All right,
with.
That's fair.
It's another YouTube channel, whatever. But it made the whole thing like 2 hours long. When the movie's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But as for the movie, the only other Vincent Price movie that I've seen is Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in that.
And Michael Jackson's Thriller, where he narrates it.
Okay, that's fair.
But so I'm not too familiar with Vincent Price's work. So this would be the first movie that I've actually seen him where he's a main character.
Okay.
And it seems like this is later in his career.
The one movie I've seen of his was the original House on Haunted Hill. That was 1959.
Yeah, so this is 70s, early 70s. So it's definitely later in his career. Although he was still around for Edward Scissorhands. So
And for the Muppets.
He was an old man.
Oh, the Muppets.
Yeah.
His last credit was 93. Edward Scissorhands was 90. So it was like right at the end of his career.
Yeah. He died in real life.
It's true.
So Dr. Phibes, the Abominable Dr. Phibes, I kind of felt that this movie was a little bit of a drag.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't, I thought it is definitely weird and strange and like of the time, weird and strange for the time that it was made.
Sure.
The only other movie that kept popping into my head as like, kind of comparable was Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I kept comparing the two. They're not necessarily similar movies, but there's a little bit of things you can pull from this and that.
The intro of the version you watched, because I started watching that, has Phantom of the Paradise in one. They have like a big video intro thing for their channel, and it has Phantom of the Paradise. And
it does.
When I started watching that version, I go, is this the movie?
Is this the right thing I'm watching?
What am I watching? And I skip forward, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta find a different copy.
Yeah.
So it already planted those seeds in my head, and then I started watching it, and there's a mysterious element and a killer on the loose, and it's just that minus the singing and the British
minus
accents.
the musical part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of musical part of Dr. Phibes with his like robot band that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys that have
The
the heads
clock-
that look like Frank.
The
Yeah.
Clockwork Wizards.
For the longest time, I thought it was like those people were the victims that he was killing,
Oh,
and he was
okay.
adding to the band and like making
okay.
them animatronic,
He was adding.
which would have been a kind of cool twist. If
Yeah, it would've been
He was adding to the Clockwork Wizards
because they all have the like
Yeah.
this mask on. But yeah, I didn't like the. It was the characters other than Vincent Price. There wasn't really any other standout characters that was like insane enough. And the whole movie, I feel like the insane meter, it wasn't far enough up. It wasn't crazy enough or weird enough.
They weren't cranking it up. Or,
And it was like the whole plague thing, like the theme of using that was a really interesting like device for the kills.
Yeah.
And like Bruce said in my notes, I was like, this is like Saw, especially at the end when he's like, you have to do this, you have to carve into your son and get the key out. How do you get the key in there?
Do you want to play a game?
Without doing surgery.
He's a magician also at the
I
same
guess
time.
so. I was like, wouldn't there also be scar hair? You just reopen?
He went in from the back.
That would be could be a possible explanation. Although I don't know how you would get it to the front of the heart.
The son survived the surgery from his father, but he was already dead from the first surgery. The sepsis took him.
So yeah,
Much like Will Scarlet in Prince of Thieves.
Yes.
it didn't. It just didn't move the needle for me.
Okay.
It didn't. It wasn't insane enough for the story that we're given. It just wasn't. It didn't have the zhuzh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But the production and makeup and stuff was really cool. I mean, when he like Scooby Doo's himself and
Oh, that was awesome.
unmasks, and then
That
you
was
see
awesome.
you see the like Halloween mask that he's wearing underneath.
Yeah.
Was pretty funny. And then he does the self embalm at the end,
That's pretty cool.
which was a very interesting thing because that is a thing in another movie where the guy like kills himself and then he just proceeds to embalm himself as a piece of art.
Yeah, I think that's called taxidermia.
But yeah, I was pretty mid on it.
Pretty mid on it. Okay.
Pretty mid. It was of 70s crazy movies like this, like Phantom of the Paradise is like way more fun.
Okay.
Yeah. The detectives were kind of boring to me. But yeah.
All right, cool. All right, for my first viewing, I think there's a reason why this movie kind of fell into obscurity is because it really doesn't stack up to some of the movies that inspired it afterwards. Phantom of the Paradise is like Brian De Palma cranked way up. The villain is like a masked hero almost, the way he looks. And of course, I want to say Paul Williams is the music in that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just the movie's, it's a all-time feel good in bizarro sort of 70s
The music is for Phoenix.
rock opera. Yeah.
Anyone else tries, dies.
And I watched that because of Adam Murphy as well at the Red Museum. So thanks, buddy. Now, I agree with a lot of the stuff that Joseph says. It's not cranked up enough to be considered like super memorable or super, I think, one of the greats. But I don't think that really matters. Like, I don't need it to be a 10 or an A+ or a 5-star movie. It's still an oddity forgotten to time that I think is worth exploring and it's worth people seeking out. Because it's got a great premise, it's got a fun vibe to the whole thing, and the physical production of the whole thing I thought was really great. When they get to the climax in the finale and the main head doctor's son is under the floorboards or the glass floor of his in this entire movie, they've been standing on top of him.
And he's doing his like monologue through like a stenographer, or not stenographer, but what's the
stethoscope?
The thingy. I don't know. I can't.
Thank you for that.
It was great. It was great because the reveal. It
Tyler,
really...
you are drenched with sweat right now.
Okay.
I just wish that you would like form your entire thought before you like jump in and interject. It's like the thing. What's that thing called? Hold on.
We have a drop for this.
I'll think of it.
Classic example of Tyler not thinking.
Yeah.
I took a day off to watch this movie. Hey, look at me. This is normal.
So I mean, I don't know why I fight it.
It's just gonna happen again and again and again.
It's gonna keep happening, but that's okay. It's okay. Anyways, the practical set piece where this in like the foyer where they're having this what do they call it? The Clockwork Band, Clockwork Wizards.
Yeah,
Dr. Phibes and his Clockwork Wizards.
Dr. Phibes and the Clockwork Clockwork.
They've been playing, and it's been showing this whole thing the whole time. And they got the organ going up and down, strategically, and he's having fun with all that, But and then once the son is kidnapped, and the lights glow from underneath, and you get to see this great crescendo of light beneath, and the doctor is like, "Oh, my son's down there," and he's got. Doctor, I'm giving your son the same chance that my wife had. 6 minutes on the operating table. Yes. And you're like, what a great setup. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And the idea, the 10 plagues or whatever, Pharaoh's curse or whatever.
Yeah, the Pharaoh's curse.
I like that. I thought it was cool. And in my head I was thinking, how are they gonna do rats? Is he gonna trick a guy to go into the sewer? He's like, hey, I dropped $50 down here. And then he goes into the sewer and gets eaten by rats,
That's
all the stuff. Like once you are revealed what the methodology of the murders are, I kept thinking, what is darkness? Is darkness gonna happen? That's not a thing.
Yeah.
And most of the characters were actually pretty dumb as well, which makes for fun viewing.
Yeah.
The lead doctor, he's like, well, I'm the last one. I'm sure he's in dramatic fashion. He's gonna leave me for the last. So the detective says, so then darkness, it's darkness. What could that mean? Maybe it's firstborn son. And the guy doesn't think, my son, I need to go save my son. He goes, well, my older brother's dead, so who cares?
My older brother's dead.
You're like, what are you talking about? That's where your mind goes? You have a son who was introduced earlier in the film as the organ enthusiast.
Yeah.
So anyways, I thought it was a delightful, it's not one of the greats, but I think for a forgotten gem, it's a really worthwhile discovery in my opinion. So that's kind of where I come down on it. There's some highs, and mostly it's more of a sort of a wow, I had no idea that this existed. Isn't this cool?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed myself. So thank you, Bruce. Appreciate that.
Yeah. What it reminded me of is the movie Seven as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that kind of ritualistic sort of murders, like off of like a biblical sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought doing the whole Pharaoh's curse thing was really interesting because once that is revealed, how do you start thinking to yourself, like, how do you implicate, like, or not implicate, how do you like execute thank you, locusts into
locust was
murder.
Another one I was thinking, how are they going to do locust or hail,
Yeah, the hail one was that was interesting.
Yeah, that was like, I felt like that was Dr. Freeze level kill.
Yeah.
Why don't you chill, Doctor?
Chill.
Yeah. I wish that there was a little bit more exposition with Dr. Phibes with his contraptions, because you're like, is he a magician or is he a scientist who's like an inventor? And he's got this weather changing machine that just pops out of nowhere, and we're just all kind of like, all right, I guess he could.
He's a Batman villain.
In 1972 or 1970, he could super chill the inside of a cabin of a coach to minus 100 degrees.
I don't even think that's possible.
Minus 100 degrees.
And it's
I'm no scientist.
What's interesting, he has multiple PhDs in such a short amount of time.
Does he? I didn't know. I didn't hear that
Yeah,
part.
so he has a PhD in theology. He has a PhD in music. But nothing medical wise. It's just theology and music. Like, he was regarded as like this like master of the organ, which is mentioned.
Are you the master of your organ?
Well, I mean,
Tyler's becoming one.
I mean,
Every week that passes, he's getting better and better.
That's right.
Practice makes perfect.
He's going to set himself a new personal record soon.
God. But they never mentioned
3 times within 5 minutes.
Ty Joseph's a real master.
But they never mentioned. They never mentioned like that he would, like, as far as I can recall, that they never mentioned that he like had a like medical professional history.
Why would it matter though in this context of the story? He's not like treating.
He's a
anybody.
doctor because he has the PhDs.
Yeah, you know what? I guess so.
It wouldn't be. It's not Mr. Phibes.
Yeah.
Doctor.
I didn't spend
doctorate.
8 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Evil. Thank you very much.
Well, because he knew how to pump blood out of a man. So I mean,
He knew how to self embalm.
Yeah, he knew how to do that.
He knows how to
so
self-fillate. I mean, bomb.
so I guess he because of his high intelligence,
I think
he
it's just
probably
because
could
when
have
you
figured
hear.
it
I
out.
think it's just because when you hear doctor, you think medical doctor.
Yeah, I think I do too.
That's what most people think of, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's like when that joke when you're on an airplane, it says, "Is there a doctor on the plane?" And someone comes over and goes, "Yes, I'm a doctor." You know, this man's choking. It's like, mine's in historical figures,
Yeah.
17th century British history.
Yeah,
I have a PhD in vampirology.
Yeah, you can't. They should say, "Is there a medical doctor on board?"
I know that you're onto something. They really should say,
You
"Is
gotta
there a medical doctor here?"
Specify.
I know.
Yeah.
Is there an orthodontist on board? We need these bands tightened. I have a question for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Where did the assistant come from? Does it explain that?
She
Not really.
For a
no.
while, I thought that was the dead wife that had been reanimated.
That's what I thought too, but I think, man,
His daughter.
they there's like a throwaway line where she was like his assistant at some point.
Volnavia.
Yeah.
Volnavia is her name.
Yeah,
Virginia
Volnavia.
North is the actress, and she was, for one, a fox.
Yes.
And she is she played Olymp, like Olympia with a E at the end.
Olympi.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, James Bond. So maybe she was a Bond girl.
Oh my God! I didn't even know that.
I know. and but yeah, she was a babe, and she was
A robo babe.
yeah, perhaps maybe she was part of the
creation.
clockwork band. You know,
I mean, I always wondered like how that relationship went, like because obviously when we're
She
watching
didn't talk.
when we're watching the movie, like this is like the end game, like for Phibes and the assistant. Like this
like they're playing. They know that there's no return from this.
exactly.
How many years has it been?
Since
Between like
from the death till
Oh, I thought you meant between the movie. I'm like, oh,
since the beginning of time, actually. Oh, that's a good question, Joseph.
so like his wife dies.
yeah.
I'm
sure
operated on.
I'm sure it said so because it said then he later on died in a car crash and was burned to death.
died.
Cool, yeah. And that was the chauffeur, which leads you to believe that he was insanely rich, which is how he created that clockwork band in the beginning.
Right.
And in the first place, and it can afford all these doodads.
It
and
would have been
rats that are not cheap.
Like,
Rats are not cheap.
It's an interesting story because like it's not like the 9 doctors were like, we're gonna take out Phibes, we're gonna kill his wife and then kill him. But it was like we didn't.
Let's just like
But that's what's great about this movie though is like at first
They
like
are undeserving of death.
At first emotion.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So now you're getting into the Saw question line of questioning where do these people actually deserve to be in the Saw trap in the first place? Parking
Right.
tickets? Definitely not.
Parking ticket.
Tax evasion?
Death.
Depends on how much depends on how much taxes you're evading.
Yeah.
You know, kick a dog, use AI art. Okay, you're in. You're in.
Joseph would be like the guy in Reservoir Dogs when he's torturing that person. If
Michael
he knew,
Madsen?
Yeah, he's dancing around.
he's dancing around,
You like
chopping ears off.
You like Chat GPT now, you asshole?
Generated out of this chair.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what's interesting? Like at the beginning of the movie, I sympathized with the Phibes because you know it was the love of his life, and he thought that the doctors just did her dirty,
Killed her on purpose.
I don't think Phibes thought that it was intentional. I think that
I don't think he cares that it's intentional. The fact is, he lost his love and he lost his face and voice.
So he's blinded by
I don't think
revenge.
I don't think that. I think that he thinks that they didn't do everything that they could have, and so that's where his
Isn't that part of the
lust for revenge comes from.
Isn't that part of the premise for Killing of a Sacred Deer?
Is it?
I mean, I've never seen it. That's just what I've heard.
Yes.
Is that Barry
yes.
Keoghan's character is like haunting Colin Farrell's character because something happened that Colin Farrell did.
Maybe I need to rewatch that movie.
No, that's exactly what happened.
I was blinded by the stilted acting of Yorgos's oeuvre when I watched that for the first time. I've never gone back and rewatched it, but it is a plot line in Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh yeah,
yes,
where Gerard Butler's character says you could have tried harder. That you could have done everything more to catch these people.
Yeah.
And also there was another movie I just had it in my head and it escaped me.
Law Abiding Citizen 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know they made it
back in the electric chair. It was gosh, what was it now? Go ahead and continue what you were saying, Joseph.
Was I saying something?
I thought you were.
No, I was.
Oh,
I mean,
we heard enough.
It's hard because they don't like explicitly tell you in this movie that these doctors are responsible or they just didn't care or like they don't really paint the picture that they are deserving of what's happening to them. But at the same time, I guess you're not really supposed to sympathize with Phibes.
I mean, I think just for myself, I did at first, and then I kind of realized, well, they're doctors. They took a Hippocratic oath, and so yeah, they're gonna do everything they can to save your wife, dude. Like, just get over it, man. Like, your wife died in this horrific accident. Killing them is not gonna. And by the way, he stole the body from the mausoleum.
That's the worst.
His wife's body.
You're surprised about that? He's killed 9 people.
No, but he did that before the killing. Like he concocted this plan.
It's a slippery slope. You start with stealing bodies, you end up making bodies.
It's interesting. It's kind of related. You know how like when there's like someone's in someone's family is having like a heart surgery or like a really risky surgery.
Yeah,
and when they make it out. Like having heart surgery or something.
Yeah.
And the family is like religious and they're like, thank God for God saving him, right? And, but not the doctors.
Sure.
But if the doctors fail, whose fault? Is that God's fault? Is it the doctor's fault?
It's both.
In their eyes.
No, Joseph. You can play it both ways.
In their eyes.
In their eyes, you get it both ways.
What do you mean?
God. Yeah, no,
It's only God's fault if they make it through.
It's the doctor's fault if he doesn't. Or the devil's fault.
Thank God for saving my house when all of my neighbors' houses were demolished by a tornado.
Yeah.
They probably were not believers. Well, they all went to my church, but still.
Unbelievers.
Going back to the assistant, though, she had the most dynamite outfits throughout the whole film.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
She looked just amazing. And I love that they did the bit of her playing like the violin. Like the white violin.
Yeah.
Like wherever she was at the kill scene, she'd be like, I thought that was like a really, I think they were trying to intend it to be creepy, but I just thought like it just like painted the scene beautifully. Like and the makeup on Vincent Price, very creepy, very macabre. And, of course, the ending scene where he rips off his wax face. It kind of reminded me of the movie House of Wax.
Yeah, there was a lot of burning of or melting of wax faces.
Those were his way of his advent calendar.
It's like closure, yeah. I'm going to melt this onto this Hebrew charm necklace that you had.
Yeah.
And then
I want to get that necklace now.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's a symbol, like a Hebrew symbol, right?
It's a symbol.
Well, his was the symbol for blood.
Yeah, symbol for blood.
But there was 10 of them. Each one of them had their own symbol.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense because is he the 10th?
No, he was the 9th because the
No,
9th...
I mean, he's one of the 10 because there were 10 of those necklaces being made. So the other one...
Oh, it was 10? I thought it was 9.
No, there were 9 victims, but there were 10 amulets.
Oh.
And the guy at the jewelry store says, and so you're presumed that I guess that makes sense then because they were his more or less cohorts or friends or some sort.
Yeah. Him and the other doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like in the same...
You can hang out with his Phibes. I know you're not a real medical doctor or anything like that, but you can still hang out with us.
you got doctor in your surname, so you know.
Yeah.
So did he get the PhDs after?
I don't know. Before.
Or was it before?
He went to night school looking like that.
Yeah.
Turned in his homework. He's got the thing up to his neck.
It was online classes.
Yeah.
the professor at the music school is like, yeah, well, he knows his shit, so... Just let him do it. I don't care.
He's a great musician.
Yeah. I thought the beginning of the movie was my favorite part because it's just it. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of the remake of Suspiria, just like that. It's
when you're saying the beginning, you mean like the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes was like no talking.
Yeah,
just kind of like flashing imagery of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, dancing and
and just like the lighting and everything about it. And at first, this is what was interesting because I haven't seen this movie in so long. Like I thought the Clockwork Wizards were actual people, and they were just. They
were for the production, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, probably.
No, they were.
Oh, they were?
They were people.
Oh, okay.
They were pretending to be robots. They're doing this,
is that right?
as they're playing the drums or whatever.
Oh, I thought technology had advanced far enough.
They borrowed some animatronics from Walt Disney.
Yeah. From the
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
The
over there, it's Nigel Entertainment Cheese.
But so like the beginning sequence, like because you don't see his face, like he's just like hooded, and then you see this beautiful woman, and then he starts orchestrating these supposed robots. I'm just like, what are you doing, Phibes? Like, what are you doing? Like,
what are you doing, Phibes? You're crazy, man.
What's wrong with you, buddy?
Crazy guy.
What was your guys' favorite kill in the movie?
Kill?
Yeah.
Either like the frozen guy in the car, or
that's a good one,
or the dripping of like acid goop.
Was it acid? Or I thought it was like
it was like sugar.
Oh, it was like feed. Yeah, it was like cricket or
locust feed.
Yeah,
that was my favorite, mainly because he has the drawing of a full size woman,
which makes no sense.
On the like, he's in the rafters. He's in the attic essentially above this room.
Yeah,
and he's got this outline of a woman. And her face has a bullseye on it, so he drills the hole through the bullseye and then feeds the drippy green goo onto her head.
Doesn't wake up.
Yeah, doesn't wake up. And I thought he spent all that time to go to a printing shop and get the outline of the woman and lay it down onto
to scale
instead of just like putting an X with like a Sharpie where he was supposed to put the thing.
He went to a printing shop. Can you imagine?
That's the only kill where you see the machinations that make up his kill.
Yeah.
You know, they allude to it in the ice hail kill.
Yeah.
Because he shows the box and the guy's inside looking all scared.
He's like,
and then it cuts to he's
Doesn't try
already
to get
dead.
away.
Yeah, or whatever. And he just lets the ice pelt him in the face for an hour before he freezes to death.
But that one, I can't move.
In the locust kill, you see Phibes crawling around on all fours in the attic. And he's like, hold on, let me get my rubber tube out. Put it down in there and we drip some goo on top of her. Okay, hold on.
Some
locust. Let me get my bag of. Hold on. Let me get my bag of locust. Okay, here comes locust.
And now he's like slapping the tube.
Hold on. And I got the bigger tube coming out. The hole's a little bit. I'm gonna drill the hole bigger.
Yeah.
Put the bigger tube in.
How'd she not wake up?
Yeah, there's sawdust falling on her face.
Sawdust, and then the goop,
green goo,
and then the goop covers her face.
Yeah.
Like there's right before the.
There's a cutaway when it shows that she's clearly not the actress anymore, and it's a head. It's a dummy head. It's 100% encapsulated in green goo. Yeah. It was.
Or that's
ridiculous.
Like one of the first kills with the guy who puts on the mask and
the frog.
The frog.
That's cool.
Crushes his.
That was
neck.
That one was really cool. I really enjoyed that one. I think my favorite.
He's an engineer.
Well, yeah.
I guess so.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I wish I saw
Tony
more of his...
Stark built us in a cave. The box of scraps.
Yeah.
My favorite kill was the blood one where he was just like
pulling blood from the guy.
Is
that guy jacking off to the video of a woman playing with a snake?
No, because he had like the film camera and he had to have.
He was cranking it.
He was cranking it.
He was cranking it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that was the joke. That was supposed to be the joke of the scene.
He's cranking his hog.
because his assistant walks in and all she sees is like his arm like doing this.
And she says, naughty, naughty.
Naughty, naughty.
You haven't eaten your dinner. A double twist.
Yeah.
I'm about to have the hardest boner right now.
All right. There we go.
But I really like that whole sequence of events, like leading up to him like being killed, because you have the beautiful assistant walk into his theater room, and he's just like, he's all worked up, like he is ready. He is rock hard, ready to go.
Consider me a route.
And so he doesn't care who walks into that door. Like
he wants it. He's begging for someone to walk in. That's his king.
He's an exhibitionist.
Yeah, exactly. And so I really liked how well choreographed that scene was, because because it felt so smooth. Like it was just like she was seats him on the chair and then just casually ties him up, and it's just like it's a super fluid like motion, like just like, and also like just non-emotionless either. Like,
well, it plays on the fact that he's a pervert, because a beautiful woman comes in and he's like, "Who are you? Where'd you come from?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm going to come over and tie this guy up."
No, she does.
And he goes, "All right."
She just does.
Do you have a snake?
She does not care at all. Or no, I'm sorry. He does not care at all. He's just going with the flow. He's like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
Even when when Phibes comes into the room, he's still game.
I'm coming.
He's still game for it.
3 times in 5 minutes.
I can come 3 times within 5 minutes.
That guy, he has a master control of that crank.
He does.
Tyler,
And then
you are drenched with sweat right now.
well,
Joseph just loaded some new drops on the board, or old drops, I should say.
This is certainly a movie.
It certainly was. That was my favorite kill, just because the sequence of events leading up to the kill, and then like
the boner kill.
It cuts away to Phibes just like doing like this like pump thing, and what
bottle after bottle after bottle of blood.
And that's what was the cool
pumping.
That was the cool part about it too, is like he put all of this man's blood on a mantle. Like it just I don't know.
I kind of wish that they would have done a better, like some makeup effects, or like a corpse dummy from the guy that was pumped full of blood, how they did in 7, made him look like a desiccated corpse, like
malnourished,
in Arachnophobia.
Just like
completely
like sucked dry.
Yeah, that would have been a really neat.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Frank Marshall and Steven Spielberg saw this and go, I wish I would have seen a dried corpse. Let's put it in our spider movie.
It would have been even more hilarious if he was just a skeleton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the face of the
yeah.
I know.
What's it called? The
locust.
The locust kill. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know locusts could eat that fast.
Oh yeah, they're ravenous.
They could go through bone like butter.
I liked how in the locust kill too, like the locusts weren't going into the tube, and he's like smacking like the tube.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I like to see all the stupid stuff he has to do to make it happen, instead of just, you put it in motion and the guy's 10 miles away somewhere else. He's actually in the rafters.
So in a way, it is kind of like Saw, where you just watch those movies to see the kills.
I guess so.
In a way, yeah.
I guess so.
I don't give 2 shits about the story of Saw, but I'm like, oh god, I want to see a reverse bear trap.
I like the oh god, that's a horrible
They're gonna
way
do
to go.
what to his limbs?
But I liked the exposition between the rabbi and the inspector. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked how he had like the scroll of the curses just like right on top of like these ancient books. He's like, oh wait, oh yeah, it's right here.
It's
like
here
why?
it is.
It's like why do you have that so readily available?
Well, he's a rabbi.
So,
He's
what
a
does
rabbi.
that
He's
what
a
does that
rabbi.
have to do with anything?
What else is he doing?
Well, I mean, I would assume that he's studying something more or less macabre than curses from ancient Egypt. Maybe so.
I mean, that's half the Bible, basically.
Oh, that's true.
I did find another example of somebody basically taking righteous retribution to the point of death for somebody not trying hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Drag Me to Hell, the gypsy woman.
Oh, yes.
She wouldn't.
I thought it was because she couldn't get a bank loan.
Yeah, but she could have. The woman at the bank could have extended her
like the Human
mortgage.
Torch.
Oh, that's right. That's what
Yeah.
it was. That's
The
what it
Human
was.
Torch was denied a bank loan. Oh, that's a Jew. Wow. Well, I don't know what to say to that.
Oh my god!
I was too late in the rabbi conversation.
Yeah, you really were. God, there's something else too. Another movie that just I can't think of it now.
So we said Seven, Law Abiding Citizen.
No, not
Drive
that.
Is it
to
a newer
Hell.
movie that you were thinking?
It is a newer movie. It's specifically
In relation to what?
It's specifically in relation to a killer taking retribution on somebody for not trying hard enough.
Oh.
Like this or Law Abiding Citizen. It's like, you should have tried harder. Well, I did everything I could have. Well, you should have tried more, you know. The Hippocratic Oath says you must try all the time or whatever, you know.
Is it a doctor in this context?
I don't know. I thought of it, and then Tyler started saying something about his boner, and then I just...
I was like, wait, what? I did?
No, I've already looked it up, Joseph. Don't even waste your time. I've been scrolling through TV tropes, disproportionate retribution films.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them on there.
I think this movie.
You're not gonna find it, Joseph. You're not gonna find it.
No, you know. Well,
You're not, and I will not confirm it if you say it.
You might. I think this movie was. It probably could have been cut down a little bit. I think there is a lot of
disagree.
What do you mean?
Oh, make it shorter? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
I disagree. I thought the pacing was great.
I
thought it went right to the heart of it.
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? You might be right. I just, for some reason,
it's an hour. It's an hour 34 minutes, and you see like 7 or 8 kills on screen.
You know what?
Most movies don't cram that many kills, like elaborate kills, into any runtime.
You know what I think? Actually, you know what? You're correct. Yeah, the pacing was really good, but I think what it is, I think what it was for myself is, like with all old movies, like the credits, they go on top of the movie, and those credits were pretty long. And so I'm thinking...
Those are long credits, man.
Man, those credits are so long. They should have cut the credits down.
Can we get to the movie, please?
I know.
Well, I mean, I think I've been privileged to watch modern movies that don't have long credits
Prestige.
like the...
That, I mean, that wasn't it, but that a little bit.
The Prestige, because like someone, like, you know,
I thought about
the girl
that.
dies, and it's like it's not really anybody's fault, but it's kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That
not
wasn't
it.
it,
That's
though?
not it. No. I
Really?
thought about that when I was racking the recesses of my recent memory.
But I think that's what it is, like with all older movies that I watch, like pre, like 1989, is like,
Too many credits.
It's just well, no, it's just
How dare they credit the people that worked on the film?
I do not mind the credits at all.
Tyler, if it was up to Tyler, it would be all AI.
No,
they wouldn't credit anybody.
Yeah, that's a direct
Down
quote.
with the credits.
Direct quote from me. No,
I know.
I think that's what it is. It's because like when you watch these old movies, they have all of the credits in the beginning, which was, I think it was a law to do that.
A law?
I don't think so.
I think it might have been. I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so.
It might be a rule within the world of
like
movies.
like an unspoken or a slightly spoken word.
I'm not saying it was a federal law or anything. I'm just
against the
saying
law.
It's a law.
Breaking the law.
Oh my god.
But there's credits at the end.
But yeah, I don't know.
If you like this movie, then you can go straight to hell.
But
I like this movie.
I do like this movie. I really do.
You know where to go.
Oh fuck. I wish there was either more comedy or they took the comedy that there was out, because I felt like it was kind of in no man's land with Comedy Land. And I like British comedy, but the only time you had that was when those bumbling sort of detectives were on the loose, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't I agree. Like it felt like it wasn't enough. So it's either you lean into the horror aspect of it, or
there was plenty of horror there, but I could have used without the comedy, or just leaned into that comedy a lot more.
Yeah,
this is a small critique.
I'm agreeing with you.
Kind of muddy the other experience.
Yeah.
I got a couple notes I want to go through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of blow through some of these here. He's wanking it to footage of a woman dancing with a snake. We've discredited that.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a snake involved in that dance.
Yeah, the goofy dialogue only comes in when the detectives come around. I really liked the conversation at the jewelry store. His accomplice helps him Buffalo Bill the next victim when she stops like in the road or whatever, and the coach comes out and helps him. And the dude's got killer grip powers. He grabs the guy by the back of the neck and just kills him.
He does the
Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah,
exactly.
the Vulcan neck pinch. Yeah.
I like when the detectives go to Phibes' body, where his body is buried, and they're like, "Here lies the body of Dr. Phibes," and they open up the tomb, and there's a casket inside, and they open up that casket. There's a smaller casket inside, and they open up that casket, and there's a box that supposedly holds his
nesting casket.
Yeah, his ashes.
His ashes.
And that's when they finally realize, wait a second, this could be anybody's ashes. You know,
how do we know this is him?
Yeah, I like how like the cemetery maintenance guys with them. He's just like, yeah, that's him.
That's him, all right.
Did you guys know that the ashes are made not by just burning a body? So like when you have remains, when you have your remains cremated, your body is burned, and what's left over is like bits of like bone and stuff, and then they grind it up to make the ash.
Oh, they put it in a blender. They put it in a blender. Yeah.
A blender. The rat curse. Phibes is able to get rats inside the plane somehow. That's impressive.
Rats.
I appreciated his brass telescope that he lugs around with him while his dead wife friend plays the violin.
Yeah.
Very dramatic. This guy's a total drama queen. Love that.
I don't know why he didn't invest in binoculars. He had to bring a whole
bro. It's about the drip. Do you not get it?
It's about the drip.
It's a vibe. He can't just have binoculars. What is this? A baseball game? What are they, bird watching?
A baseball game.
Yep. Baseball mitt.
A baseball game.
There's a point, a very weird subplot where like the police chief for the detectives is kind of like a goofy asshole who's kind of dumb.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a car he really likes.
Yeah.
And somehow one of the detectives borrows it, and like he says, I was hurrying. I was going over 90 miles per hour in the outskirts of town. For one, miles per hour. This is in London.
Yeah,
this is in London. It would be
kilometers per square mile.
I was going 125 kilometers per mile in it, and
per kilometer.
But they don't. Yeah, they don't say that. Kilometers per hour.
Miles per kilometer.
And then their boss, and the boss drives off, and the car presumably blows up off screen.
Yeah,
because he's like, you can't even move my car. I don't want anybody even think about touching my car. Not knowing that he was just bombing through Winchestertonfieldville, going 90 kilometers per second.
On a field, nonetheless.
Yeah. He drinks through his neck. He talks through a voice box. Sounds like poor things. The next doctor is impaled by a brass unicorn. What curse is that?
Yeah.
That one I was confused about. I wasn't sure about that.
What curse was that?
I don't know.
The curse to be impaled. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Let's screw him from the wall.
Yeah, and I like how like they couldn't just like, because he was already dead. Why can't they just like shove it out of him? Like they had to like uncork it through the wall.
That thing is like, it's like really big. I imagine it's kind of heavy, but it like comes out like a dart.
The brass.
It's like, and it's like really quickly.
It was catapulted across the street, is what he said.
And then they're complimenting the unicorn. They're complimenting the craftsmanship of the unicorn. I laughed at that really. It's like, it's made of brass. Oh,
Yeah.
and it was like they said like, oh yeah, it was burned with something impressive.
Yeah, I don't understand the Pharaoh's curses, because there's the 10 plagues on Egypt was water turned to blood, frogs, gnats or lice, which would be, I guess, boils. Flies, livestock disease, that wasn't there. No, the boils is his own one. Thunder and hail, that's a different one. Locust, darkness, and firstborn killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what curse that was.
So
the unicorn, the brass unicorn.
Yeah, it was really loose with the. I mean, come on, Phibes. You have a PhD in theology. Okay,
Phibes is cooking cabbage and Brussels sprouts in the basement for some reason.
That's gonna stink.
That's the first time you see the look at his lab, where he makes his little inventions, his toys.
Yeah.
I like that he's an equal opportunity killer. He kills the woman. He does not care. How progressive.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the 70s, maybe he would have drawn a line at that and said, I can't do it.
I'm smoking a cigarette now.
No, he's
I'll kill that bitch.
Wow, good drop. Wow, timely drop.
I can't kill that person.
No, he doesn't say that. He says, "I'm gonna kill her."
So he does. He does like he has the trachea.
Yeah,
the hole.
it's on the side of his neck though, which I thought was cool.
He's got smoker's lung.
I liked when he rips the mask off. I thought that was great.
The Scooby-Doo ending.
Scooby-Doo ending. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
It was me, Dr. Phibes, the whole time.
It's like, oh my God, put the face back on.
The sun is under a glass floor in Dr. Phibes' layers. What a great set piece with a light crescendo, the acid tube, all of it. Saw owes a debt of gratitude to this movie.
Yes, completely agree.
Yeah. That's all the notes I have. Anything else you want to bring up, fellas?
No, I think we covered it.
I think that's it. Okay, cool.
No.
So let's give it some grades.
And then he dies.
Yeah, and then he
kills
dies.
himself.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't die.
Well, I mean, there's
it's
a sequel.
Dr. Phibes rides again.
But
it says rises again.
Rises.
Yeah, rises
I like
again.
I like to think he's
I actually don't know
riding
if that's the
something.
name.
It's rises.
It'd be
It's
funny.
Rises.
It'd be funny if
The
like
Phibes rises.
I can't remember because I did see the sequel, but it would be funny like if they did a remake of this movie, and it just picks up right where the first movie like drops off, and he's like,
Who
911.
Who would play Dr. Phibes?
I accidentally embalmed myself.
He didn't embalm himself all the way.
And then it's just a journey of redemption for Dr. Phibes.
Actually,
and he learns his love for music again.
Actually, he plays the desiccated corpse machine thing from Hellboy, the first one.
Oh,
that the Nazis. The
one that
use.
like cranks.
Yeah, cranks himself up.
Yeah.
A lot of overlap, a lot of cranking of oneself in that movie and this movie.
Cranking.
A lot of embalming, a lot of mechanical clockwork for people.
Yeah. He's very inventive. He's like an inventor.
All right, Tyler, you want to give us your grade for the Abominable Dr.
Is
Phibes?
that still what you said earlier?
Yeah. Definitely a B+ still. Yeah, it's a. I don't think it's a movie that you can watch on the reg. I think this would be a very timely movie for the Halloween season, but I think it should be a staple for your Halloween movie viewings.
What movie are you not gonna watch, instead of this? You gonna kick out Halloween?
What would replace
on Halloween?
This?
So you can only watch so many movies on Halloween. Is
Oh,
this
well,
really
31 movies.
Is this really going to be
I
a
said,
staple?
I said the Halloween season.
I know.
I almost said series.
But what would
The
you
Halloween
sacrifice to watch this movie instead?
I'm saying there's only so many. What doesn't deserve to be in the Halloween season?
Oh, what doesn't? Oh,
Event Horizon gone.
Your mama.
I would say
Hellraiser gone.
I would say Event Horizon is probably again knocked off the list.
Well, not for me.
Yeah. Well, fine. Buzzer.
Bad take.
Oh, shut up. Chat bot.
It would easily replace Halloween, but it's not even on my repertoire.
Well, Halloween Ends is now on my repertoire.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
my favorite Halloween
yeah.
of the whole franchise.
But yeah, I think it definitely deserves a lot more recognition that it does. I would
say appreciation.
Oh yeah, appreciation.
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, so a B+ for me.
B+. All right, Joseph, what's your grade for the Abominable Dr. Phibes?
C+.
C+. All right.
I will not elaborate.
All right, that's fair. All right, I'm going to give Abominable Dr. Phibes a B-. I think that the set pieces bring it up to a B level. I think the dramaticness and the great costume design of his assistant is great. I think the creative deaths is fun. The fact that it inspired so many things since then is great. And I really think that it's something that people should, if they haven't seen it and you haven't heard of it, it's worth watching.
Definitely.
It's not as good as a lot of things that it inspired, and it's not
like a masterpiece or anything, but it's good.
Somehow, the movie gets a B.
That's right. It gets a B-.
Oh my God, you found it.
1 B-, 1 B+. So anyways, yeah, that's my grade, B-. I think there's more to be desired with the movie, but I'm very glad that I watched it, and I did have enough fun.
Yeah.
Enough fun. Anything else, fellas?
No, I think that is it.
All right, so now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny. 1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, the Abominable Dr. Phibes off the wheel. What did we do last week? Prince of Thieves?
No.
No, Hard Ticket to
Yeah,
Hawaii.
Hard Ticket.
Okay, so that was mine. So I'm banned from
You're banned.
hosting next week. 2-term limit. No, 3 times in a row. Can't do it.
Banned.
But I will replace my choice now. Let me erase this little guy here. Okay, I'm going to throw this back to a childhood classic, a movie I watched countless times as a child.
Another one?
Yes, another one.
Going
What was the
back
last
down.
one?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a kids movie. I'm doing an actual kids movie.
Oh, okay. Same premise though.
More or less, yeah. This one I have probably just as fond memories of, but I remember it being kind of disturbing for a kids movie. And this is The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh.
That is a disturbing movie.
It's
It
a
is-
talking toaster.
the implication of those poor appliances,
It's like Sausage Party.
Yeah, they have the AC unit that never leaves the house. That's
The vacuum-
angry. The vacuum cleaner, blanket,
yeah,
the radio,
the radio,
and
yes.
the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, and
title
toaster.
character. I never watched any of the sequels. At some points, they go to Mars. So I'm told.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars.
How does this toaster get to Mars? That's crazy.
All right, so I'm going to recap what we have on the wheel. We have Windy City Heat from Pete, The Brave Little Toaster from Pete, Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Tyler, American History X from Tyler, Oppenheimer from Joseph, Lahane from Joseph, and both of our Patreon picks are taken up with Javier for Blackberry. So let's give this a spin. Let's be what we watch next week. Who wants to call it? Tyler, you want to call it?
I'll call it.
What is that?
It's
Lisa? It says Linda.
Yeah, this is the Patreon.
Oh.
Blackberry.
There you go, Blackberry.
This is with this is the Glenn Howerton flick, right?
Glenn Howerton.
Two Wars.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard it was a pretty good movie.
I almost watched this last night, honestly.
I watched it already once, and I liked it quite a bit.
They had the extended.
Yeah, now it's released as a 3-part miniseries as like a TV show on Hulu.
Really?
As well. So I think I'm gonna watch that version.
There's a movie version, like just one movie, and then there's that.
The 3-parter, and then, so it says directed by Matt Johnson, also written by Matt Johnson, also starring Matt Johnson, Jay Baruchel, and Glenn Howerton.
So it's like it is more like a comedy.
Oh, it's for sure a comedy. It's very funny.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's very funny.
Because like when I saw the trailer for the first time, it felt like a serious movie.
Well, it looks like a movie that is like more serious,
like Social Network sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe, but the characters are very goofy, and it's Matt Johnson. So Matt Johnson did he did The Dirties.
That found footage, school
movie.
shooter movie,
and and also Operation Avalanche.
Yeah, where they filmed at NASA.
Another found footage film where they actually did film at NASA without their permission. and
Oh,
made a
that's
movie.
right. I remember that. Yeah.
And then now Blackberry. So he's a kind of a great like auteur and very funny. Everything he does is funny, and the writing and the banter is very good. And he's great in this. Jay Baruchel is interesting in this, and
interesting.
Glenn Howerton is like unhinged. I think what people hated about this when I remember it coming out was the wigs. The wigs were
the Vigs.
The Vigs, yeah, they were.
You will wear Vigs.
Distracting.
Will you wear Vigs?
Glenn Howerton's bald in this too.
Yeah. No, the
lack of wigs.
I remember when he was filming this. When he was filming this movie, he has a podcast with Always Sunny in Philadelphia crew, and it just looks so weird.
Yeah,
he looks like a different person.
Yeah,
like completely.
He does
with the bald cap.
I will say he's fantastic in this. He's really good. He probably could have been nominated for like best supporting actor. Some people might say a little over the top, but I think it's great. So go to the comment, just chatting on this. All right. So anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
Okay. So Javier chose this. He's our first Patreon member. He's our first Cool Ass Yard Duty. We'll go.
Yeah, this will be perfect actually because
Is he going to be in town?
No. It's supposed to land next week because then he'll be in town for the recording in April.
Okay.
Because he'll be.
Well, if he wants, we can push it and we can do a respin. We'll figure it out off air. We'll figure it out. But I mean, whatever you get next week, you're going to get, listeners.
Do you want to spin again just in case?
Sure, why not?
That way we have the option.
Let's have a backup. Oh. Whoa, shit.
And it's broken.
Okay, here we go. One more backup spin just in case. Tyler, call us again.
Okay.
Spin it again.
That was one of mine. It landed on one of mine. Lahane.
Lahane.
Damn it. I was really hoping it would be mine.
Well, sucks to suck.
Yeah. I'm gonna start putting Tyler's picks in my name just so we can watch American History X for once.
No, it's fine.
So we will watch that and we'll talk to Javi.
We'll talk to Javi. So it'll be one or the other, either Lahane or Blackberry. We'll figure it out
before you have to upload this episode.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's all staying in.
Yeah.
It is. Oh.
Yeah. Well, this live stream goes up actually live. It'll be available for on demand for people to watch all this and all the one message in the chat. That's me.
Yeah.
The Gavin
There's
chatter.
3 viewers there.
The Gavin chatter is more lends itself to the conversation than the review. But
well, yeah.
So, anyways, thank you to everyone on YouTube Live that are watching us and YouTube Not Live, as well as the OG listeners in podcast land. We really appreciate you, and we definitely appreciate our cool ass yard duties on Patreon, as Javier, the aforementioned Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up on patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. Until next time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Bruce from Cinematics, for giving us the Abominable Dr. Phibes and calling into the show. It was as always, a delight. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right. Thank you so much for everybody for listening and for watching. We will see you next week.
Yeah, see you next time.